What's up everybody, this is Eric with Trouts Fly Fishing in Denver. In today's installment of Starting Off in Fly Tying, we're going to talk about fly tying tools and what they do. Okay, so first tool we're going to talk about is a bobbin. It's the tool you're going to use the most because it holds your thread. It's the base of fly tying. So the idea behind a bobbin is it holds your thread so you can smoothly feed that thread as you need it. It also gives you something to hold on to while you're tying so you're not trying to hold on to the thread. Pretty simple tool, but very, very useful. Our second tool that we'll talk about that kind of goes hand in hand with the bobbin is a bobbin threader. The idea here is that it goes into the bobbin, you put the thread through it, you pull it back through so that you get your thread through the tube. This is just a tool to make that very easy. Next tool that we will talk about is a Bodkin. Looking at it, it's very simple. It's a needle with a handle on it, easy to hold on to. Two main uses for it is picking out dubbing so that you can make your flies look a little buggier. The other thing that I use it for quite a bit is I dip it in my glue so that I can put the glue exactly where I want it. That's with normal head cement. A lot of people are using UV glues, which we'll get into in a different video where you wouldn't really use that except to move the glue around. Next tool is Hackle Pliers. So the idea behind Hackle Pliers is they're spring-loaded, very tight. Your hackle goes into that. It gives you something to hang on to that hackle so you can hold on to the tool while you're turning that hackle around the hook shank. A lot of times if you're trying to do that by hand, you lose your grip on the hackle, it all comes undone. This tool makes life much easier for that. So now we need to talk about scissors. For me, there are three main types of scissors that you use. These are considered all-purpose scissors. The idea here is the blades on them, aren't really short, aren't really long. There's a little bit of a serration on the blade so it grips the material when you go to cut. It's for standard trimming off your thread and trimming materials, that kind of stuff. You'll use these more than any other type of scissor. Next scissor is a fine point scissor. Very easy to tell. The blades are much shorter. They go to a finer point, meant for delicate small work where you need to get in tight to clip something. Third type of scissor is a hair scissor. So obviously much longer blades on them. They are serrated because hair is one of those things when you go to cut, it'll push the hair. So the serrations help hold that hair so you can cut it instead of just pushing it out of the scissors. Elk hair caddis, deer hair bass bugs, those kinds of things, hair scissors come in really handy. Next tool, and these two kind of go together. So these are material tweezers. So the idea here is, and I'll kind of show you both sides. So tapered, very long, but when you open them and close them, they make contact the whole length of the tweezer. And the idea here is when you're doing a dubbing loop and you want to put that material into your dubbing loop, you can basically open that up, put your material and hold it, adjust your material so it's kind of how you want it. And then when you put it into your dubbing loop, you can just take that and move it out of the way, then your material's in your dubbing loop. We will show how to use this in a future video. The next one is a dubbing spinner, so obviously goes hand in hand with the tweezers. So the idea here is that when you form a dubbing loop, your loop goes through the hook and it's actually pretty heavy, and when you spin it, it spins that dubbing loop up and traps that material in there. Makes it really easy to make a dubbing loop and get it spun tight. So last tool, and it's actually the same tool, just two different sizes. These are hair stackers. So if you're familiar with an elk hair caddis, when you form the wing on that, you're using elk hair. you want to have the tips of that hair even. So basically what you do is tips of the hair go down in, give it a tap, and when you open it, those tips of the hair are sticking out where you can grab them all at the same length, and then you have a nice even wing. The need for two different sizes, and there's actually a third very small size, but you know, kind of your standard stuff, elk hair, caddis, that stuff, you're going to use this size. This is more when you're working with deer hair for deer hair bass bugs and that, where you're using bigger clumps of hair. It's just a bigger tool, so you can easily get the hair into the tool. That is what we have for fly tying tools. In future segments, we will show how to use all these tools in a practical way. So appreciate everybody tuning in.